Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, the former mayor of the great city of Downey, and I'm here with my co-host, Eric Pierce, the editor of the Downey Patriot. And you're watching the Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric. Okay. Former two-time mayor of Downey.
Two-time mayor.
You left that part out.
So, we have some of the mayor's coalitions and group, and when we meet, and you're right, I mean, you have certain great people, great mayors, Roger Brosmer, Alex Saab, Keith McCarthy, Kirk Kartosian. They were only one-time mayor.
Yeah.
So down there, I got to rub that into them. So no, it's anyways, good to see you. Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving festival. Thanksgiving show that we're doing here today.
It is. I'm wearing kind of a green. I try to wear some. I don't know if this is Thanksgiving-y, but I try to pick something. If you're watching, this is my Thanksgiving outfit.
If you're eating, cauliflower or what is that thing?
Beans,
green beans and
yeah. Which I don't eat green bean casserole. It's terrible.
I know, huh? So that's something we should talk about. So what's your favorite? What's your favorite side dishes? We didn't even plan on talking about this.
No, we didn't, but let's talk about it. This is our Thanksgiving episode.
It is our Thanksgiving episode.
And we're going to talk about what we're thankful for. But stuffing.
Yeah.
Stuffing, but I like stovetop stuffing. I don't like, when people make like their fancy stuffing dishes. Like I like the very simple stovetop stuffing, and I can eat that all day.
Oh my God, we're so different. I'm the other Robert. Well, I'm, big bold guy, right? I like big bold flavors. So we have Uncle Darrow stuffing. Uncle Darrow, it's like so much pepper in it on there. And
are there raisins in there?
On there, not on that one. My mom's had the raisins and the big walnuts and stuff. So I only get my mom's stuffing every 5 or 6 years. I mean, Ann still has the recipe, but the Uncle Darrow stuffing. Every one of the kids, we love this thing. It's big, bold, it's peppery, it's charbroil burn. You do some inside and some outside the burn.
Do you eat the turkey leg or no?
I don't. I'm not a brown meat guy. I'm
I
all
do.
white meat guy.
I do.
Oh, see,
this is why we don't have Thanksgiving together.
Yeah,
we couldn't.
That's right. No, I don't know. And the only one, my mom used to go in there and take the bird apart with her hands and the whole thing. And a couple of my kids do that. They like the dark meat, but
you know what's funny? So growing up at Thanksgiving, the turkey leg always went to my dad. He was that's a big piece. That's a big piece. Yeah. So later on, eventually, when I moved out and started having Thanksgiving on my own, that was my piece. That was my piece. That was the turkey leg. That was my favorite part of it.
Good for you. So you're doing a whole turkey too?
Yeah. Doing a whole turkey, the whole thing.
I love that. You know what's funny is I have an electric knife thing, right? So we've been married 37 years. So we got it as a wedding gift. So we've had it for 37 years.
Oh, wow.
But it's still in great shape because it only gets used like once or twice a year. Sometimes at Christmas, whatever. Yeah. And we still put it in the same box. But I pulled it out and
funny.
I do the cutting in the kitchen and the whole thing.
Funny. What about cranberry sauce?
Oh, yeah. I love cranberry sauce. Me too. It's got to have cranberry. And then Ann does a sweet potato thingy that you put marshmallows on, and then you have to really watch it because if not, you'll burn the marshmallows on the top. But we really like the marshmallows kind of.
What about yams?
On there, it's kind of the same.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah, kind of in the same.
I'm not a yams person.
No, I like sweet stuff.
Really?
Oh. Yeah. And then there's another one. This ambrosia salad that Grandma Kay used to, and some of my kids like it. I'm not gonna waste my stomach space on stuff like that. There's too much other good stuff there.
It is very strategic in how we're going to fill your plate.
Then you got to plan the after attack, like an hour later. Okay, how much can you do that? And then we buy good bread because then you got to have the turkey sandwiches for the next 2 or 3 days.
Absolutely.
And stuff like that.
With the cheese.
So, So, anyways,
good times.
As you notice, this is our Thanksgiving special. By the way, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday in the entire year.
Is it really?
My family knows it. It's it's chill. I mean, we're taping this on a Tuesday. It's a short week on there. You get you come together for food with the family. You're grateful for all the blessings in your life, and then you still got Friday through Sunday after. It's just a great holiday. And for me, we're used to the boys. We do the cleanup and stuff like that, or we try to anyway. But it's a chill. I don't have a lot of responsibilities.
No, you can relax. It's a very relaxing. Hopefully, it's a very relaxing
yeah.
holiday.
Yeah. We got, especially now with grandkids. So, so Eric, so tell me some of the things. We want to make this a gratefulness in a Thanksgiving show. What are some of the things that you're grateful for? And we're talking, obviously, this is called Talking Downey with Mario and Eric. So we're talking about Downey. We're grateful for a lot of other things all the way around, but you know, from a Downey standpoint.
Well, let's go. So I'll give my list first, and then we'll do yours. So I have 5 things. There's more things, obviously, that I'm grateful for, but these are my 5. Number 1. The Downey Historical Society. I'm very grateful for them because, you know, if you've never been, you really should. They're over at Apollo Park. It's a group of volunteers who give up their time to chronicle and maintain Downey's history. Somebody has to do it, and these people are doing it. And also, I'm super grateful to Bobby Bruce. She's one of the volunteers, and she does a column in the Downey Patriot called "Things They Didn't Know About Downey," and actually her latest column, which is going to go up, it might be online by the time that you're hearing this, is going back to Downey High School in 1936. And seeing all the courses that they did and some of the students, some of the yearbooks. It's super interesting. To me, it's interesting.
It is.
And I'm grateful that they do that.
Oh, good. I'll tell you, you do. And anybody that wants to go in there, you have the oldest house in Downey is attached to it. And part of it, you can see how people lived 150 years ago here. But you're amazed at what's there. You know, and being in city government, I was blessed to take off some of the street signs, you know, when we changed them and stuff like that. And I was able to give the 2 of them, and they're all happy to have the different street signs stuff. But you walk in there and you look at things. It's awesome, and people need to know that nobody knew where it was at. And then we put some signage on the outside, and thanks to Supervisor Don Kanabe, there's some of the funding for that. But it's in a good place, and that people just need to know about it. I agree with him. So
and you know, there's been talk about maybe relocating them because they need more space. So I'm hoping that we'll have those conversations later on.
Good call. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. Number 2. Our farmers market. And you know, I didn't know this until recently, but they're celebrating their 10th anniversary in Downey. And I know you remember life in Downey before the farmers market. That was one of the things that everybody wanted was a farmers market in Downey. Now we have one. And I think it's become a very good farmer's market. Every Saturday morning right here in downtown Downey, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. They have really good stuff there. Yeah,
they do. We started out on the side of the parking lot there because we wanted just to see. I remember Dave Gaffin, Kirk Cartozzi, and myself were the council. We did the ribbon cutting for it. And then we wanted more exposure to it. And then we brought it over to Downey Avenue, which worked. Especially they put it side by, the facing out, so the stores there, like the Assistance League, would get more notoriety. And then when COVID did, you wanted something a little bit different, more spacey. So they went there to this parking lot next to the auto club, and it's working there.
I like it there, actually. I prefer it there, to be honest. And you have a dedicated entrance and exit. It's spacious. I think it works there.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, that's always something really good. I think hopefully the downtown business district takes it over or helps work on that, and even builds on that. But I heard they're looking to have a night market, the downtown business district, to have it one night of the week on there closed off and to do something. So that might be coming.
That would be exciting. I know other cities have done it. Whittier, Bellflower have done similar night markets. That would be kind of fun to have.
And just in case, that would be an addition, not to replacing the Saturday morning farmers market. In addition to. Good. Hey, I like your gratefulness so far.
Good. Okay. Number 3, I'm grateful for our credit unions, especially Financial Partners Credit Union, not just because they're sponsoring this podcast, but they do great things in the community, as does Downey Federal Credit Union. And I think it kind of blows me away how much they give back to the Downey community. And there's so many programs, I think, that happen in Downey that wouldn't be possible without their support.
Absolutely.
And we're so lucky to have them.
Absolutely. No, and we do. And we have good community folks on there, and they're always sponsoring things. I know that the Downey Parade that's coming up on there is sponsored by Financial Partners, Credit Union. I know that they're big sponsors of the Columbia, and both of them do a lot of good things. That's another good call. Boy, you're on a roll, man. I love it.
I'm right every once in a while.
I believe in the credit union movement, which, by the way, the credit union, you get a lot of the benefits as banks, but they're not for profit. Not they're nonprofit, but they're not for profit. So the money that they make does not go into a stockholders, shareholders. It goes right back to the members. It's based on members, and I think Downey Federal has 25,000 members, and Financial Partners has like 86,000 members. So they benefit by that. So you think of them as a bank, but yet friendlier and easier to do business with.
Absolutely, 100%. Number 4, I'm grateful for Florence Avenue being repaved. and if you remember prior, Florence between Downey and maybe Brookshire or even Lakewood, it was a mess. It was terrible for so many years. And I wrote stories in the Patriot. I mentioned it to people. It just didn't happen. But finally, thanks to Measure S, I think it was. It was fixed finally. I do want to give a shout out to Councilman Marno Trujillo, because he was very vocal about getting Florence Avenue repaved. And man, it's night and day. It made such a difference.
Yeah. We did Imperial Highway, then we did Firestone, and we hadn't got to Florence yet. We did, of course, Lakewood Boulevard and Paramount Boulevard. So that was one of the main thoroughfares through the city on there and stuff.
Absolutely.
Okay, so what we're talking about the street, this is a controversial subject, and it just popped into my mind. What do you think of the street medians that are in the main roads, at least some of the main roads?
I like them.
Okay.
I do like them. I know other people aren't fans, but do you remember Imperial? Before it was worked on, it looked like a landing strip. It was wide. It was so plain and ugly. I like them. It takes some adjusting, but I'm a fan. I think it makes it look beautiful.
See, I knew we'd agree on something eventually on there. We'd keep talking. Yes, I was originally, when I got on the council, I was like, really? It blocks things and so forth. But I think I was changed. My mind was changed by experience. Number one is it improves the flow of traffic. Number two, it is a safety feature from a positive standpoint. And number three, it beautifies it. So it was a win-win. The one key thing is to make sure there's enough cutoffs or openings that it doesn't impact businesses. As you know, and there you can go and there's U-turns available. But totally agree with you.
I'm sure you've seen it, but Telegraph in particular. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
The divider between Pico Rivera and Downey. It's beautiful.
And that was a joint project. They actually did nicer ones. Pico took the lead on that, even though it was a joint project. Some of our medians I thought could be better. Like that one. And I'm always disappointed. Like, I want originality. I want design. So we did that on the street signs, at least the entrances to the city. But
I'm a fan.
All right, what else you got?
Last one. Before we get to that, I want to ask you something. Somebody mentioned to me, I forget who it was over the weekend, that we were talking about Firestone Boulevard, and they mentioned the parking, and they were upset that Downey took away the parking. Do you remember that?
Absolutely. I was part of it.
You used to be able to park on Firestone, like right here in the downtown, and go into those businesses, and they were upset that you can no longer park on Firestone. I was one of those people. I flipped. I kind of like that you can't park on Firestone anymore. What were you on the council when that happened?
I was. It was Roger Brosmer and myself that made the decision. We were the downtown subcommittee too. So we did go to businesses, and several businesses. Most businesses says we don't care. We got enough parking on the back. There was the one, the Hawaiian store said that they liked it and so forth. But we had to make a decision. It goes from high flow and then it slows down in the downtown really slow and back up, and then it opens up again close to the mall. So we had to make the decision whether we'd make it flow all the way through. And that was, believe it or not, that was Roger Brosmers and I call on there. We went to knocked on doors with Brian Psyche, our economic development director, that's now the city manager in Whittier. One that really was interesting to me, like for example, talking to Betty Porto here next door in Porto, is like, Betty, you're going to lose 3 or 4 parking spots there. Does that matter to you? Right. Well, and then we have the bus stop right there too. And she says, not really, because we have enough parking elsewhere, and I think that was the main driving force. Sure. So no, I'm happy that we did that too. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's going a little bit too fast. It is. But
we have plenty of parking.
Yes.
Either over at the gateway, there's that back parking lot where it's super squished together. That's another issue. But we have parking. We have the downtown parking structure.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah. Okay, last one. Freeway accessibility. I'm grateful for that. And I think sometimes we take for granted how close we are to our freeways. Yeah. But, I think about when we go to a Dodger game, we hop on the 5 freeway or the 710, the 105, you got 605. Yeah. It's not everywhere that has that. Yeah. I spend a lot of time, I still have family over in Whittier, and it's a 20-minute drive from Whittier just to get to the 605 and then drive down, and it's a huge inconvenience. I think we're really lucky. I'm really grateful that we live in a community where we can just hop on the freeway.
I agree with you. And as a matter of fact, when we were designing our logo, the last piece of it is we put it in a box in the 4 corners, symbolizing that the D is in the 4 freeways, and so forth. So there's a lot of thought. What's another discussion? But absolutely.
I want to hear your list. What are you?
Well, mine. I did them at the doctor's office, and I was thinking bigger. Okay, first of all, and I know you feel the same way. We don't want to leave out our families. We're grateful for our families. It's who makes us special and everything else. So, so our family, when they're hearing this,
let's get that out of the way.
Yeah, I want to get that out of the way. I'm blessed. I have 5 kids and 4 grandkids, and married 37 years. So we all have these special blessings in our lives. So having said that, from a Downey perspective, that's one of the reasons. So my wife grew up in the South Bay in Torrance. As a matter of fact, we still own her family home on there that we bought off her brothers and sisters. So to bring her to Downey, again, we've been married 37 years. So I was like, well, we're going to live in Downey. What? I don't want to live in Downey. I'm from the South Bay, with the Bishop Montgomery. Honey, you'll like Downey. It's a good community. It's got good bones. It's got great people. So now I make fun of her that she's lived here longer than she's lived anyplace else, of course. So, but part of it is here's the Chamber of Commerce gratefulness line, okay, if you will. We do, but it's so true. I feel safe here. Okay, I mean, yes, there's crime everywhere. I feel safe in the city of Downey, having our own police department. That's huge on there, and having our own fire department, having local control. So I am grateful for that, and grateful to the residents that that's not going to ever change on there. So I am happy about that.
And and they're both so visible.
Yes,
you see the fire department, you see the police officers. Yeah. They're out and about. Yeah. And I think we take it for granted. If we don't live in Downey, you don't realize how special that is.
Yeah. And I'm doing a ride along, as a chaplain on Friday night, and you see the city in a different way, but you still see them as the big protectors, our police department. I love our police department and our fire department. So the other thing is, that does make us special is having our own schools. Yeah. Downey Unified School District is everywhere in our city. It's part of our who we are, part of our culture, part of our DNA. So, you could say that. And I grew up in LAUSD. I grew up in, Huntington Park and Huntington Park High School. And they're great people. Now I'm dealing a lot with LAUSD. But it's different in Downey Unified School District. The longevity of the school board members, but also the staff, it's been a stable thing. I mean, we can know, Manuel, oh my God, I can't think of his name, the superintendent, Manuel
Gallegos?
Gallegos. The building's named after him. And then, of course, you had Okay,
Wendy Doty?
No, before Wendy Doty. Sussman, Ed Sussman. He was in Rotary. See, this is the age part, so sorry. So Manuel Gallegos, you got Ed Sussman, Wendy Doty, and now Dr. Garcia. So you have 4, and that's probably 40 some odd years.
If not
at
more.
Least, if not more. So you have stable leadership at the top, and that's what we had in Downey too. Which brings me next to my next point, that Downey has had. I've been grateful for the local government and good government, at least until now, until recently. Again, for 30 some odd years, we had 2 city managers. And up until recently, we've had no, on the city council, you've had no real, disgraceful type of things.
No corruption.
No corruption and so forth on there. So things have changed. But there's a hashtag that we're all using now, Operation Restore Order, and it's beginning to look a lot like Downey.
Right. And, speaking on that, what I'm grateful for is that we have a nonpartisan city council.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest benefit of that is that it allows our city council to really make decisions in the best interest of Downey without the fear of, or the influence of political pressure, which we see that on a national and a more statewide level. But on a local level, it's about making decisions best for Downey.
And it was up until recently, because this last council made things a lot more political. That's the one thing is people don't know this, and I'm going to just say this. People don't. People didn't know. I mean, we're like 80% Democratic registration here, okay, in Downey. And again, we all get along. It's not a big issue here. But we've had, even with that high registration, we've had predominantly Republican councils. When people don't know that, because you don't. I mean, when you have a Rick Rodriguez and Alex Saab, and so forth on there, you don't care what their politics are. They're good people and taking care of business for the city. So when they left in 2020, we flipped to a majority Democratic Party council. Okay, again, you don't know that while you're voting, but it made a difference. So now we just elected 2 more Republicans on the city council when we're still 90%, and the rest of the world went left. Downey stayed within good people. Period. So you're absolutely right to bring that up on there. It doesn't really matter, and it should matter. And one thing also, it didn't matter to me that I was elected from District 2, for example, but you got to represent the whole city.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's one thing Meredith Perkins did when, the skate park is in District 1, and he thought that was the best place for it, even though, it was his idea and stuff. So you do those things.
100%.
So anyway, so good government is important, and we're back to it. Now, the other thing is, we used to laugh and not think of this as a positive, but now it is. There's a lot of good places to eat in Downey. We have a lot of eateries. I make a list there in my office, and we're blessed. We never had chain restaurants, and now we have chain and mom and pop.
It's because, we remember before we had these restaurants, that was the biggest complaint, that there's nowhere to eat. That was a very real thing now in Downey.
No. So I think we're doing that. And then the other things, and I counted this the other day, so we have a volunteer community. I'm grateful for the people that do that. You and I have been involved in so many service groups. By the way, there's 14 technical service groups in the city of Downey, like Kiwanis and Rotary and Optimus and so forth, and Sir Optimus. You have 50 churches still here in the city of Downey. So I've been, just in the last couple of days, there's so many turkey giveaways locally here and food giveaways, and that's awesome. That just warms our heart, and it's all good. So again, 14 service groups, 50 churches, the backbone of who Downey is. So I'm grateful for it.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. And, when Downey's a very caring and generous community, and I think when somebody needs help, there's no hesitation to help them. At all. There's always a willingness to help people.
So the other thing that I am grateful for, Downey has always had a pride of ownership. in the communities, in the streets, in the homes and stuff. People, I mean, you saw this. I've never seen it like this for Halloween. How many people that decorated their homes for Halloween, and that's a lot of work for a one-day thing. And then now we're going to have all the people starting decorating for Christmas. So it's a pride of ownership. You know what's interesting is because before COVID, we were real good at enforcing the laws. Okay, make sure your lawn is mowed. You know, make sure that you can't park your cars on there. I think with COVID, everything was kind of like, okay, we got better things to tackle. We sort of need to go a little bit back to that direction. You know, I see things here on Downey Avenue that kind of, okay, it's the Wild Wild West. You have a store that's got, you know, put paper all over the windows to cover them up, and people are writing bad things on it. And, you know, code enforcement used to be, you know, I used to get calls on there, oh my God, they're measuring, it's 25% only of the window can be lettering, and yet, you know, so the pride of ownership, we got to get back to it a little bit more. But overall, I think our community has had that.
And, you know, and I think part of it too might be that Downey City Hall is kind of in transition. There's no permanent city manager. We lost a bunch of department heads. We have people in transitional roles, and I think that might be part of it too. You know, you sent me last night an advertisement from the city, and it's, you know, all these different job openings and stuff like that. And you commented, and then I replied back. One of the job openings is the city manager. And it's sad. It's up there with a dispatch person, and which is, you know, very important. A lifeguard and whatever.
You know, but it also had a finance director, and that's because Gandhi's going to be retiring. Anil Gandhi, it's a stable part of our finances there. But when you look at this list, and there was, I don't know, 20 different positions, I don't know. It just seems sad that the city manager is just on the list.
It is. It's funny and sad. You know, I wonder, you know, you're right, because it feels like so many more people were decorating for Halloween this year. I think even for Thanksgiving, we'll see it for Christmas. I wonder if part of it too is because of COVID. You know, maybe we couldn't do it, and there was. I'm glad I kind of see it come back. Maybe we took it for granted, but we're seeing more of it. I don't know. It might be a coincidence. I feel like it might.
I agree. I agree. You know? And the last thing for me, again, I'm just, you know, highlighting some of the obvious, but for me, I actually thought about this from a local standpoint. The downtown Downey corridor of Firestone Boulevard that looks great. Exactly what we want to know. Their new businesses are coming, but also the downtown Downey. You know, just what's happening on Downey Avenue and the surrounding area. You know, there's 2 or 3 other new restaurants. I hope that they start taking away the parklets and some of those K-rail things that look terrible, and all these other things. But I'm grateful for our downtown. I love walking in the downtown, and this was organic. I mean, this we hit rock bottom, and now, you know,
it's really it's the town square of Downey, and I love to see events happening there, concerts and these family festivals, and you know what's funny is how the demographic kind of changes from the daytime when you see like business people walking around, and then at nighttime it becomes more of a club atmosphere.
Right. You see how the couples
and it changes. You know, and that's great. There's something for everybody there.
It is. So, hey, by the way, speaking of new, I don't know if our viewers know this. They're going to see it soon, but Handel's, the ice cream place, is opening at the Promenade, where the corner across from Five Guys Burgers, right where the Fresh Griller was in. So Handel's, if you haven't been, Handel's is a South Bay establishment. It's like, you know, when we go out to dinner in the South Bay, it's like that's the treat. You go to Handel's, and there's usually long lines. It's fresh, new ice cream made, creamy, perfect. And so, believe it or not, that's going to be a big add-on. So anybody that knows Handel's knows that, like,
I don't know Handel's, never heard of it.
All right. So if you go to the South Bay, there's one in Manhattan Beach, one in Redondo Beach, and I don't know where else, but check out the one here.
Okay. Is it open yet or no?
I don't know that. Okay. I saw the signs up, and it's where the Fresh Griller, that salad place was at. Right. Okay. So I saw the signs up.
So that the healthiest salad place closed.
You went from yes, they went to the ice cream. I know. Hey, what do you want from us? Yeah. You know, a fat guy's rule. No,
you sell what it sells. You know.
Yeah. But you know, yeah, okay, but it's an ice cream place. Okay, that's a good observation. Thanks a lot. So, anyways, that's what are you doing for Thanksgiving?
I'm going to be eating, watching TV. Yeah. But no, you know, honestly, I'm going to be jumping around from between family members' houses. I'm going to go see my mom. And just be with the family, very low key, and so we're closed. So the Downey Patriot usually publishes on Thursdays, but we push up the deadline on holiday weeks. You know, so hopefully there's no breaking news. But no, just gonna be very, very kind of low key.
Cool. Are you doing? So will the paper be online tomorrow at 4 instead of Thursday at 4?
You know what? Good question. No, I think it's still going to be Thursday at 3 p.m. because it's automated. Oh, and so we just kind of set it up and it does it automatically. Okay. So I think it'll be Thursday at 3 p.m.
Okay. All right. So let me see. Read the Patriot. Play football in the front yard with my grandson. Yeah, I'll read it on Friday.
You can read it Friday. There you go.
So I know. So we have, you know, when you have, when you're grown kids, you know, start getting married and you have both families to think about. So the one trip, so that's that we have.
But your family is like you host it though, right?
You're like we have on there. We usually do, yes. Yeah. So we'll have, but here's a tradition that's going to continue because Haley's going over to Tyler's mom's house for dinner. Yeah. They'll be there during the day, and then we'll have our two
That's
sons
the tough part of getting married.
Yeah,
is you have those family dynamics.
Yeah, and we had to do that when our kids were little. Going to go both sets of parents.
And everybody wants to see the grandkids.
Everybody wants to see the grandkids, and you do. So the one thing that's kind of cool, it's a tradition. So Anne, first thing in the morning on Thanksgiving, she has to toast, I don't know, 50 pieces of toast, right? And then you do it to make the stuffing. She does the stuffing fresh from making the toast, right? So all the kids used to get up early and do that and help mom out with all the other things. So the one thing, even tomorrow morning, they all will come over the house early. And they're grubbies. They're PJs or they're grubbies. They'll get there 8 o'clock. So they'll have this all spread out. For me, the house smells like toast, which is good smell. You know, I wake up and go downstairs and they're all making this stuff. So then it's a tradition. So they'll do that. Then they'll leave, go to their respective homes, take their showers, do whatever, and then they'll come back for a while. Then we have a couple of them. Matt and Ryan will stay for dinner. Haley and Tyler and the grandkids will go over to Robin's house. But so it'll be a little bit quieter on there. But yeah, it's always my favorite holiday.
Yeah,
and I get to eat it on Friday. Friday we have the UCLA games on at 1:30 against Cal, and then I'm doing a ride along Friday night. So
nice.
For most of the night.
When I was a kid, I would not eat on Thanksgiving until dinner time. Like I would save my appetite to.
No way.
I can't really do that anymore.
No.
I'll eat now before.
Yeah, because it doesn't. You figured it doesn't stretch. So
yeah, I like eating.
Well, Eric, one of the best things I'm also grateful for is for doing this show with you. You know, if we started this about a year ago. Thank you to Financial Partners for sponsoring us. We've had a lot of reviews. I think we've had over 20,000 views altogether, something that they pointed out to us. And the one thing is, you know, we've been consistent. We're mostly positive. We try to observe what's going on, but we love our community, and I think that's what's going to stay. So.
I 100%. And you know what motivates me to keep doing this podcast is hearing comments and reading the comments from the community, from our viewers. So please keep those coming. Let us know what you want to see on Talking Downey, and we try to accommodate, but we really appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, we do. So it was a late post. We had the when we rode on the golf cart in downtown Downey. It just got put up last week. Thank you, Brandon, for making sure it got up. Anyways, and we were laughing right before this started taping this. Eric was genuinely scared on the back of the golf cart just because I'm local and I'm talking and I'm driving on there. But it was kind of funny. But some people commented on that was kind of fun listening to us and watching all the different things. So we'll try to do some outside things, and we love the feedback. Text us. Write us on there, comment on them, and so forth. But we'll have, and we have some exciting things planned for next year. But we'd also want to hear what you guys want to hear and see. So, anyways,
Mario, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Same to you, man.
And we'll do it. We'll do this again soon.
We'll be there. We'll be back in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then we'll start talking about more serious things. We got the city council transition, mayor's transition in December. We got the parade. If we don't come on before, the parade is December the 3rd. Fourth.
That's the first Sunday.
First Sunday, yeah. And we're looking forward to that. It's a great community thing, and that's good for us, our community. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, so thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to your families. May we all continue to be blessed. So thanks for listening to Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric.